Welcome back. Over to Kogi State now, and medical experts have been speaking about the need for people to ensure that newborn babies are registered at birth. At a forum in Lokoja, the state capital, the experts agreed that effective national planning be paramount in Nigeria's developmental strategy.
And journalists in the state. They are all invited for this interactive session, which was organized by the UNICEF to educate the public on the significance of birth and death registration. The program, which was tagged UNICEF Interactive Session to improve vital registration in Kogi State, was attended by the state governor, Idris Wada, and Nigeria's UNICEF representative, Mrs. Sharon Oladiji. In her presentation, Mrs. Olajide revealed that 53% of children in Nigeria do not have births registered.
There's need, I'm reading the one that is on the line, that efforts, there is need for networking, there is need for creating formal and informal collaboration with relevant Nigerian and international institutions.
The State Director, National Population Commission, Aikoyi Akube, expressed the organization's commitment to sustain its partnership with relevant stakeholders as it strives towards achieving its set goal of 100% birth registration coverage in 2015.
The Commission wishes to solicit for more collaboration and sponsorship from the state government, the local government councils, and other stakeholders in the following areas. These areas are the logistics, provision of one motorcycle per LGA by the state government, funding of a 5-day training program for about 1,700 personnel across the state to be co-opted as birth registrars in the various LGAs.
While addressing the people as part of his contribution, the state governor, Captain Idris Wada, described birth registration as an integral part of effective planning for socio-economic development of any state or nation.
We will therefore explore all avenues of birth registration through appropriate linkages for our health delivery system to ensure that Kogi State derives the maximum benefits from registering all births and deaths in Kogi State. So let me now charge the Commissioner for Health and his team to work closely with UNICEF and the National Population Commission to install the best practices in birth registration for the benefit of our state.
As the program was brought to an end, it is hoped that each state government will make both registration of birth and death mandatory.
Hand washing for hand hygiene is the act of cleaning one's hands with or without the use of water or another liquid, or with the use of soap for the purpose of removing soil, dirt, and microorganisms. On our health focus tonight, we'll take a look at this age-long tradition that helps to stem the spread of disease. Our correspondent, Mary Alali Yusuf, reports.
It's late morning and these hands certainly look clean. Let's see just how clean they are. This virology specialist explains that dirt could be dangerous if it remains on the hands.
You touch door handles, you touch railings, you touch everything as you move on. You touch cars, you touch surfaces, and as you're touching, you're picking up pathogens.
With the advent of the Ebola virus disease in the country, Nigerians adopted a more frequent and more thorough hand washing and sterilization culture to keep its consequences at bay. But should we take a break from such close attention to keeping our hands clean, now that Nigeria has no case of the virus and we are virtually free from contact under surveillance?
Ebola is just one of the diseases that can be prevented by hand washing. Many other diseases can also be prevented by hand washing, so we should still continue to wash our hands.
Frequent hand washing has been known to reduce the frequency of diarrhea disease as much as 30%. Frequent hand washing has been known to reduce the frequency of respiratory illness disease as much as 30%. So also the pneumonia, the flu, the cough, and the common cold that we get. If we can do more frequent hand washing, then the frequency of such illnesses will also reduce.
We went out to get a sample of how the hand washing culture in town changed when the Ebola virus hit the nation.
Before the Ebola outbreak in Nigeria, I don't really wash my hands regularly. But since then, I had to start washing it.
Seriously, when I heard about it, as I wash my hands regularly.
And now, do they wash as often as they did in the early days of the disease?
I do, but not regularly like when the Ebola virus came into Nigeria.
No, I do still wash my hands regularly.
Since I'm not a kid, I won't rub my hand to the mud, so I see no reason why I should be washing my hand 30 times in a day.
But I be 3 times a day.
The question arises of what type of water to use and how clean it must be.
Water stored in a bucket is still better than nothing. But basically, you can just add a few drops of bleach. Okay, but the ideal thing is to have running water and soap.
Health experts tell us there's a proper way to wash the hands to ensure that they are free from germs and a way to close the tap and avoid reinfection.
It's better you have the liquid soap, which you can just dispense by pushing directly, so you dispense and you form enough lather on your hand. So after forming, then first of all you wash the surfaces, then you take care of the in between the fingers, you wash properly, then you go behind, you wash the back, and you also wash the back here, and not forgetting that we haven't washed the thumb. So you come like this and wash the thumb, you wash the thumb, then you wash the wrist. Then after washing the wrist, you go under the running water and you now wash everything.
One is to have a tap that can be operated by the elbow, taps that can be operated with the foot, or once they finish washing, the tissue or the paper towels they use to clean their hands, they also use it to close the tap.
The hands are our instruments for picking and dropping things, for support, cleaning, touching and greeting each other, and the most likely vehicle for the transfer of germs. Washing them with soap and water could keep us free from a significant number of diseases. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshewa Josh. The federal government is planning to establish automotive industry parks in the country. The Director General of the National Automotive Council, Engineer Aminu Jalal, confirmed the plan during a briefing in Lagos. Mr. Jalal revealed that the government is in talks with Osun, Delta and Cross River State governments to build the parks.
We are working with the state governments to get land where we can have automotive supply park, which is especially at the industrial estate with the roads infrastructure, where the industry can come and set up. Especially local content we would like to invite to come to set up in Nigeria. They will have easy access to where they can have. We already have offer from some states, like Osun, Delta and Cross River. But we are working seriously to get land in Lagos, in Anambra and Kaduna, where we already have some assembly operations.
And the Ogun State government has pledged to continue to create an enabling environment for private businesses to thrive in its economy. This statement was made by the Ogun State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Mr. Abimbola Ashiru. In his words, Ogun State can now be described as a volcano that has erupted economically.
We are partners in progress, and you could see the testimony happening in Ogun State. I mean, in the last 36 months, over 50 companies have opened shops in Ogun State, and they've inflowed over $10 billion. So it shows that you've been able to create an enabling environment for them. You've been able to tell them that government, there's this trust, and that we are partners in progress, and that is the most important. And the theme of today has really shown that it's important for both parties, both private and government, to trust themselves. And best practice must be imbibed, and that is what we are doing in Ogun State. And how do you make the business thrive? Create the enabling environment. The security issue has been tackled in Ogun State. Then look at Ogun State like a construction yard. The infrastructure is there for them, because even transportation of your goods from one place to the other is very key. and creating the environment that they will feel at home. And that's what I said, that Ogun State is the volcano that has erupted economically.
And here's a summary of trading activities at the Nigerian equities market this week. A turnover of 1.586 billion shares worth 26.92 billion naira in 22,238 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 3.752 billion shares valued at 62.116 billion naira. The NSE All-Share Index and market capitalization dropped by 0.56% to close on Friday at 40,819.72 and 13.478 trillion each, Australian each. Well, three indices appreciated during the week, with the exception of NSE 30 index, which lost 0.68%. The NSE Banking Index shed 2%. NSE Lotus Islamic Index dropped 0.16%. On the gainer stable, May and Baker added 51 kobo to its share price. Also, AG Levantis Nigeria, Mansard Insurance and 7up Bottling Company were in the gainers category. On the laggards list, Ikeja Hotel shed 63 kobo. Nationwide Express dropped 28 kobo, while Just International Breweries lost 34 kobo. And in company news, in line with the post-listing requirements of the Nigeria Stock Exchange, some quoted companies released their earnings during the week. One of them is Ikeja Hotel PLC. Its revenue for the year ended December 31st, 2013, stood at 11.22 billion naira. Profit before tax was at 1.6 billion naira. Also, Owando PLC posted its audited financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2013. It recorded a drop in revenue of 499 billion naira as against 650 billion naira the preceding year. Its profit before tax also dropped from 14.17 billion naira in 2012 to 713 million naira in 2013. It also posted a loss from continuing operations of 4.6 billion naira. Well, that's business news tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
Next on the news at 10, U.S. jets join ISIS Syria border battle. Please join us again.